Greetings, beings. It's Reverend Jacob Martinez, Crystal Haiku Guy, your father of tribes from artoflove.me, back with your November readings for the Tarot by Tribes series. Happy birthday to all Scorpios that are watching here. Hope it's an awesome year for you. I'm going to believe it so. This is an M for Mature audiences only channel, so please only be watching it if you are M for Mature audience wherever you're watching it. The messages can be challenging, sometimes specific, sometimes general. It just depends. I'm not in charge of what comes through. I just kind of read it and say it as it comes. And I make 4 videos because I try to capture as much as I can, and I break them down into tribal elements. So basically 4 videos are going to have 3 chapters in each to cover the signs, or as I call them, tribes here. You don't have to watch the beginnings of any of my videos. Sometimes they go long, since while I'm shuffling through 5 different decks, things pop out, and sometimes I get spirit messages. You can just go under any of the videos and click show more and just jump to whatever chapter makes sense to you. Feel free to do that. I recommend seeing your sun, your moon, and your rising. And if you don't know that information, just look online for a free birth chart. A lot of people can give you that information. And you might find, since these are focused to be general readings for a large population of people and hopefully applicable in different ways for others to get a different lens on life, other than what you see in your immediate face. So sometimes it's just going to give you a greater context if you're looking in more places than one. So the sun, the moon, and the rising might give you a better composite view. And just keep in mind, these are for entertainment and for self-analysis. I am definitely making them with the understanding that you're intelligent enough to know how they apply in your world, if they apply in your world, and to whom the genders might apply. I'm going to be interpreting energies from things that I hear from spirit and that I might sense in a number of ways, including looking at art on cards. So it's subjective, and it's not to dogmatize who receives the message. I'm going to leave that with y'all because you're smart enough to do it. So let's take that for granted. Maybe only that. Now, basically, the way I break these down is going to be using the 5 decks, like I mentioned. The challenge style energy, I use Carolyn Mace's archetype cards for that. When we're looking at the physical material realm, I'm going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. For the mental sector view, we're going to be using John Holland's Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. For the sometimes romance sector, but often just personal life sector, we're going to be using Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels Oracle deck, and I seal everything up with practical advice and a prayer from Archangel Michael using Doreen Virtue's Archangel Michael deck, and I think that's pretty much going to cover it. So, if anybody's looking for prayer assistance, feel free to hit me up on my blog to artoflove.me. There's a welcome mat that will greet you where you can just send that prayer in, and you don't have to feel alone if you are. That's something that we like to do, is pray for people. And if you are looking for a closer zoom on something in your own world, I would love to do your personal and private readings. So feel free to go to my website, artoflove.me, and just click on services up at the top, and you'll see how to get into my schedule. My code of ethics is there. And actually, if you're interested in seeing testimonial information from others who have worked with me for various different things, from energetic healing work, to shamanic journey, to distance Reiki, to just a personal, private, energetic psychic tarot reading, all of the data is there. So feel free to have a look at that, and I'm going to catch you on the inside of your video. Hope you enjoy. Greetings, air tribes. Happy November to you. Can we believe it's almost the end of the year? I can't. Y'all are the last tribes I'm doing for these November readings, since Libra went first all last month. Excuse me. And yeah, it's just like hitting me that it's almost the end of the year. I can't believe how fast it's gone. And I was getting just like a lot of messages while I was clearing the space here, and I'm trying to think of how to be orderly. But a card flew out again that is tripping me out because it keeps showing up in like all of the November readings. So every tribe is getting a call for solar plexus chakra for some reason. So that's your third chakra. I'm hearing a lot of call for just, balancing chakras right now and checking in with a healthy sense of the ego. And it was so funny, like when it came flying out of the deck, I heard it's a song all of you guys know. It's Grace Slick, I was just hearing, when the truth is found to be lies, and all the joy within you dies, don't you want somebody to love? And I was just hearing that, like, when this card flew out, and they were just reminding me of some things that probably have come out of the dark, and I'm hearing that some truths were just exposed, and if they haven't been, it might just not have caught up to you yet, that some things that were basically like hidden under rocks, stuff that was like in the woodwork, has been coming out of the woodwork, and that a lot of it had to do with just some planetary changes, some stuff that's going on in the cosmos, and that it might have had something to do with the Aries supermoon too. So this last full moon that we just had was actually the biggest moon that we will see all 2016. It was the closest that the moon was going to be to the Earth, so it was a really humongous supermoon. Hopefully you saw it. But yeah, I was hearing that it's a Jefferson Airplane, Somebody to Love song, and this had just come flying out, and I was being told that, for some of y'all, it's like, well, they were saying some of it is just about truth coming out. Others, though, they were showing me somebody just kind of like, almost like spying, like doing like investigative research, like with their detective hat on, just like digging through details. And I'm hearing a lot of it just has to do with chasing for, missing information and things that you've been trying to, excuse me, have a better grasp on this year. And I'm hearing that a lot of it has to do just with your life purpose, and I'm hearing for some of y'all it just has to do with the fact that over this year you've really come in contact with what it is that you're all about. And I keep seeing 11s, and I don't know, I mean, I've been getting a lot of stuff on like Life Path 11 over the past couple months, and that could also be because I'm a Life Path 11, and I think that maybe, just because of how I do my own spiritual practice and the way that I postulated my desires for what I was doing with this channel, that I'm coming in contact with a lot of my own kindreds. And so it's possible that that's what that is too, but it's also too, I think, a reflection of the 11th month, which is what November is. So there's a lot of mojo going on with 11s. I'm hearing twin flames, spiritual partnerships, unions, and truths coming out of the dark, and just making sure that whatever it is, you're just balancing yourself in the light of your own healthy sense of self. So I'm not going to dwell on that too long. I'm just going to go ahead and start shuffling. If you're new to my channel, you don't have to watch all this. I get messages that pop up when cards pop out too, and sometimes I'll hear things and I'll just pick up if I've got a message for you. But basically, I'm going to shuffle for all three of the air tribes at once. I lay down the cards with the backs up until I'm ready to read them. We're actually going to be going Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra in that order. So I'm just going to put the mic down while I'm shuffling, and I won't pick up unless I have something to say. So. Well, what an interesting dichotomy of cards to pop out at the same time. Shuffling the Carolyn Mace archetype deck, both the Virgin and the Prostitute decided to pop out, just like this. I will read them both. The Virgin says, light attributes, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. Prostitute, just don't be offended. I'm not calling you out. Everybody has played this role at some point. It's one of the archetypes we all carry. So she says, light attributes accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Shadow attributes state places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Completely different energies here. And I'm being told for some of y'all too, especially if you are an 11 or a 22 or 33, any of the master numbers, and you might be like in that point where it's literally the fork in your road, where you're either ascending your energy to the higher frequency or allowing yourself to basically congeal into the lower vibration. I'm not calling it out. It might be a very polarizing choice of life path differentiation. So I'm going to keep shuffling. I just cut the deck and was getting ready to lay down the cards, and this one just somehow flew out of the cuts. Visionary, light attributes. Capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Shadow attributes. Selling insights to the highest bidder. Compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. I'm hearing, in some cases, somebody stole your idea. I'm hearing somebody stole your idea and might have sold it. Interesting. In other cases, yeah, wow. And they're telling me that that's what that virgin prostitute thing was. It's like somebody might be trying to play like they were very innocent about something that they did because they are like on this level here that says visionary. And if they took your idea, and if they did, I think you should fucking sue them. Sorry, I know that that's firm, but if somebody stole your idea, it's inappropriate. That's weird. I'm seeing it again, and you know what? I'm trying to remember where I saw it before. I think it was with the water tribes. I was seeing something that was like the Seven of Swords. It was somebody like trying to sneak off with something that wasn't theirs. They were making it more like it was sort of like not a big deal, but the way I'm seeing it right now, it's a big deal. And they're saying something about somebody's intellectual property being stolen, and that it was actually taken by somebody that they trusted a lot, that should have had sort of like a confidentiality clause that may or may not be there. And I'm hearing that you might have records of the conversations, and that there is definitely a level of recourse, and that that solar plexus card that was coming up, if this is your message, they're saying, you know, I'm hearing, I mean, they use the word fucking fire them. That's your guide saying that. And they're pissed. And they're saying that it had to do with your life purpose and your mission, and somebody literally, like, might have tried to, like, take your idea. And if that's the case, I'm hearing you definitely have recourse, and that it's going to be important to make sure that you don't compromise your own integrity just because that's somebody that you trusted, letting them get away with it, because they know that they deceived you, and that they lied to you, and that they manipulated you. And I'm hearing that it might have something to do with, like, something that happened in July. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot about something in July. May or may not be the case, and hopefully most of the people watching this didn't have anything stolen from them, but I'm hearing in some cases you didn't realize it, but something got out, and I'm hearing it might have been around that full moon, and so you might be hearing some things that tick you off, and I'm hearing that in some cases that's why that yellow card showed up, and that you really need to be like balancing your solar plexus, because you're going to be pretty upset if you find out that something that had to do with your essence and like your life and your life path and the things that you've worked for was taken advantage of, you know, or taken from you. So really focus on chakra clearing right now, maybe just preemptively. And I'm really curious to see what's going to come up here in the rest of the cards. But yeah, they just showed me that it was like the Seven of Swords image again, and I'm trying to think if somebody actually had gotten that card. Somebody got that card in the other deck is what it was. I'll tell you exactly who it was. It was... Here it is. Virgo. 7, deception and envy. You might be dealing with a Virgo. Maybe you have some Virgo in your chart. Maybe in some cases it's the Virgo that got taken advantage of. And I'm hearing in some cases you had a Virgo that stole from you. And if that's the case, I'm hearing that that person actually knows that they're going to go down, because you're as meticulous as they are and you kept records. So you're going to know if it's for you. I'm going to finish shuffling. chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. That just shot out. I've had some other cards try to shoot out, but they were backs up, so I didn't flip them, but that one just showed itself, so some of y'all might have some chemistry going on. I'm hearing in some cases this might just be like fireworks, and maybe in some cases it's like, I know it says chemistry and we're seeing like a happy couple here. In some cases there's definitely some chemistry like that, but I'm also hearing in some cases this might be like another kind of passion, like pissed off. Especially if you found out something like what I was describing before, so. Finances and career just popped out. I'm hearing that has to do with somebody stealing something from somebody. And in other cases, it just has to do with maybe finances and career being a determining factor in relationships. So keep going. I'm hearing something about just focusing on the brow chakra. I'm gonna do a little proxy work here for some of y'all. I'm being told that it's really important that you are paying attention to the health of your pineal gland, because some of you have like a clearing that's trying to happen there. And they're saying that might actually be a very well, you know, something that can help right now, especially if you have been breached in some way, like somebody taking your intellectual property. They're saying there might be something that your guidance is able to give you if you're just able to kind of, you know, focus on the space here too. They're saying in some cases it's not going to be like litigation for some of y'all. I'm definitely hearing though that somebody's going to get sued for something. So I'm not trying to be like negative predictive. I'm actually hearing in some cases you might know already if somebody stole something from you. So I hope that didn't seem like too irrational. But I mean, I heard it and they're like, fucking, you know, sue them. I just kept hearing that. But at the same time too, I'm just hearing that some of it is just that, you know, it might not have been directly a threat on some of you that was taken in a way that is affecting your finances and career. I'm being told in some cases somebody did actually steal your intellectual property, has sold it, and that's what that finances and career thing is, and that somebody might be coming back trying to like talk to you real nice, like, oh, we did it for you, and you know, in that situation, you might just want to sue them for everything that they're worth, because I'm being told that it was a really scummy, manipulative move. And they're saying you really need to check into your ego on this one and focus on making sure you're clearing up your diet too, and that you're seeing very well your guidance. You're going to know if this is for you. This is for people that are practicing their mediumship and doing things on this level. But like I said, I feel like I have a lot of master number people that are watching this right now looking for information on what's happening with their choice of life path, especially if cards like Virgin and Prostitute will fly out at the same time. So these might be very specific for those people. And I'm just being told, yeah, brow chakra. They're saying be really careful what kind of water you're drinking too, because like there's just a lot of crap and contaminants in a lot of water. So if you're drinking out of your tap, you're not doing yourself any favors, is what I'm hearing. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and swirl the sage. I lit a huge tree to clear some of this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into Aquarius. And we'll do Gemini. And we'll wrap them all up on Libra. So what's up, Aquarius? Happy November to you. I hear a lot of things are changing. Let's see what the cards say. All right. Been hearing about people finding out some truth. Very interesting. Detective card showed up as your overall archetypal energy for the month of November. At least the first couple of weeks. I'm hearing it might have something to do with a book, actually, for some of you, that might have been falsely taken from you. Like somebody might be, I'm hearing there was some plagiarism going on with somebody. Be careful. Look into it. Detective, though, light attributes say great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. Shadow attributes, voyeurism, and falsifying information. I'm hearing for a lot of y'all, this is just seriously about being hyper aware of what your options are, because you're actually showing up in your own reading, many of you, as your own self. In very good form, I will say, because this showed up upright. Major Arcana, the Star, aka Aquarius card, in your physical material realm, with a lot of light in the sky overhead. I'm being told in some cases this was actually, This is talking about something that you learned around the supermoon, and that it has to do with a lot of really interesting options that might be presenting themselves. And I'm hearing in some cases there's a lot up in the air right now, and that's why this detective energy is showing up. It's like literally trying to pick the right one. And whatever it is that you do, I'm just being told to focus on that light over your head, because in some cases I'm being told that's you right there, Aquarius. And just to admit the truth to yourself and make sure it's something that's also centered in your healthy sense of ego. Especially if you found out something that might be polarizing. And I'm hearing in some cases that's you guys like going to town, like dropping the hammer on getting some knowledge to make sure that you know what you know. You know what I mean? That you really know what you know. And I know that's going to make sense to some of y'all. So I'm going to just open up the Carolyn Mace archetype card book. We'll see what that detective card says in here, because they're always expanded. Alright, Aquarius. We've got several keywords, 4 bullet points in the tip. Detective, spy, double agent, sleuth, snoop, Sherlock Holmes, private investigator, profiler. Also see the warrior and the crime fighter. First bullet point says, seeks out information that supports solving crimes. The second one says, combines great powers of observation with highly evolved intuition. The third one says, the spy is associated with surreptitious acquisition of secret information regarding politics, business, or national security. The last one says, shadow detective manifests as voyeurism, falsifying information, or selling out to the highest bidder. The tip to keep in mind says, examine your passion for using your powers of observation to get at the truth. And so, I'm hearing for some of y'all, you know exactly what the truth is. And that as I've been reading these cards, it's like you already know, and so your guides are just saying, just make sure you're being honest with yourself, because it's like the time to make a decision. And I'm hearing that it's a really good thing. I'm hearing in some cases it's not like a bad thing at all, that, yes, some people did have something stolen from them. But I'm also being told too that in some cases you have had people that have been doing things like secretly or covertly, because there's some offers that are coming your way. And it actually has to do with how good your skills have become, where it's like literally you just see through so many things that people would consider to be obstructions in life. It's like, you don't even have to like really be the detective. It's just like you've just got this hyper awareness, and that's why you're showing up like the star, and you're showing up like upright. You're like your own like dream come true, sort of, in a way, to show up like this, because it's basically just showing some alignment for some of y'all, if that's in fact you showing up this way. In other cases, I'm being told that, it's like you've been doing your research about what you're putting yourself into, and that really and truthfully, this is you just like going for it. And it's like the kind of energy that is like really, really good for it having a positive return. And so they're kind of saying in some cases, really and truthfully, it's like point your finger and go, because it's like open doors for you in different ways. And it does say choose wisely there. And I'm feeling, that's very important, because in some cases you don't want to dilute your efforts, and you also want to make sure that, especially if you have some shadow characters that are not really coming at you in a way that is, straight on, you choose the right one. And I'm being told in some cases there's like, just some false friends and people trying to like take off with, credit for things that you've done. and, you know, people may be trying to point you in different ways, and that it's just important that you're in the light of your own truth. So, you know, keep that in mind, because this is wish fulfillment, you know? Like, anytime the star shows up, this is like somebody that's naked in their own truth, right? And someone that's bringing, like, clarity and nourishment to everything around them in their environment. And stars usually show up in a dark sky, right? But you see that whole sky is like bright, like daylight. And so this might be a very good reflection of things that you have actually created in your life situation for you to be showing up like this, if that's you. And if not, it's just saying that this is a clue as to, like, you know, what this moment in time wants to offer you. It wants to offer options that might be somewhat of an emotional nature, because this is what's showing up on the mind. It's choices. It's a 7. You might want to look into what 7s mean too. It's a very interesting number to have going on here too, but also keep in mind that 7 is also the top chakra here. And, you know, this is talking about your ability to focus on that chakra, to show up like this. It's a psychic energy, you know? And, excuse me, my computer's about to start blasting something. Just make sure that doesn't start. Sorry about that. But, yeah, you know, there's a lot of purple in this card too. See, this person here is like covered in purple, and there's like purple up there in the sky. Oh, I'm taking that as something about like the 7th chakra up here too, and just like these like awarenesses of the, you know, the higher register energies, and really using that as a guidepost. And also, you notice too, the one finger that's pointing directly, it's pointing at the yellow, right? And the yellow is, again, it's that solar plexus. And I'm just hearing again that some of y'all really are going to need, that's going to be your big challenge. I know this is the challenge energy for the month here, detective, but I'm hearing the big challenge for some of y'all is actually going to be the solar plexus. So just keep it in mind. And I think that's why that yellow is wrapped around your head here, if that's you. I'm going to open up the John Holland book on the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, so we can talk about that Choose Wisely card. That's your 7 of Cups if you were referencing more traditional style deck like this, which is sometimes, you know, it could even be disillusionment and like what options are. Like sometimes it's just somebody just kind of like you know, just off in la la land, just fantasizing about stuff. And I'm not picking that up here at all. I'm not picking it up like a fantasy thing. In fact, I'm picking it up that some of y'all might have some really interesting proposals coming your way because of something that happened in July. There's July again. But honeymoon is showing up. And so I'm hearing in some cases this is making travel plans, picking a place to go and be blissful right here. I'm hearing in some cases it was like, I heard the words bidding war, but I'm not getting a romantic context on that. I'm getting it more like multiple offers coming in on a professional front, and just choosing the one that is like really in your light, the one that's like in the best light, and it just being like kind of like a dream come true, like, you know. And this says enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And so I think in some cases it's actually picking a partner too, because I am actually noticing the 2 birds here, and cups are emotional, and so I'm hearing lovebirds. So in some cases people are making emotional decisions and also trying to be rational about how they do it. It's looking good though, Aquarius. And I'm actually hearing too that if you're the one that had your ideas stolen, See, it might be different because there's like, it's going to be different. You might have missed the beginning, but I was getting a very strong message about somebody having some intellectual property stolen. And it did come up again here, but it's not coming up with such a negative vibe, actually. It's coming up pretty good, that it was like something that you thought might have been stolen might actually be returned to you in a different way. I don't know if I'm hearing that right. But it'll be interesting to see what comes up for Gemini and Libra, too, because those stolen messages were for all the tribes here. Alright, well, let's see what the John Holland book says on Choose Wisely, aka Seven of Cups. This card comes forth when you have a vision or goal that you want to achieve, but too many choices, scattered energies, and unrealistic expectations prevent you from attaining what you desire. Opportunities are bountiful, but there's a decision to be made at this time. This card reminds you that the options now around you may appear to have all the influence and power, but in reality, you're in control and responsible for all the choices you make. Take time to think, analyze, and carefully look at the different possibilities that are in front of you. Don't be hasty just because you feel pressured. And don't be influenced by people who have no idea, expertise, or education in the area of your choices. A focused, wise decision far outweighs one made emotionally or in desperation. Hence the detective card showing up as a challenge, that being advice. So if you've got things that are pulling at you emotionally and things that are on your mind, decisions to make, a lot up in the air, major changes and developments and things that you've actually called forward that are starting to show up, pick a good one, Aquarius. They say you earned a dream deal in some cases. So I'm hearing in some cases too, it's romantic partners. I'm hearing some of y'all that might be dating right now or considering it, might not even realize how many potential love partners you actually had, and that it's like, you just kind of checking in with your own emotions here and like really paying attention to what those options are so that you choose a good one. And I'm hearing in some cases it's literally like who you want, and that's why you're going in the direction and those two birds are flying off together. It's because you actually might have found a very special partner. I'm hearing in some cases, this detective and this thing hiding behind the book is actually, it was a secret relationship. I'm hearing clandestine affair, and that this honeymoon is actually like, I heard eloping, is what I heard. And in some cases, it's just like spending time alone, even if you're not eloping, just alone with, that person or that thing, that's bringing the bliss, and just like really getting into details with them, like spending time with them and seeking out the truth, observing that person. I'm hearing just spending quality, intimate time. So that's pretty interesting. Let's see what the book says on this honeymoon card here. And if you are getting married, congratulations. So that looks pretty good, right? I think it looks pretty good. Honeymoon. Alright, Aquarius. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. This card indicates the need for getaway to nurture romantic love. The specific application of this message depends upon the person who is inquiring. For some, this card has a literal meaning. You are going away with your new spouse, following your wedding. For these already in a long-term partnership, this card speaks to reigniting the spark by taking a romantic holiday. Could also relate to honeymoon period of a new relationship. And for still others, this card indicates that you will meet someone special while on a vacation. Yeah, that's really cool. I was actually hearing something about that before too with Leo. Maybe you have some Leo that you're dealing with, or a Leo maybe some Leo presence in your chart. But I was actually getting a message about some Leos going for like away time to just like rest and rejuvenate. I was seeing them at like, it's either like a spa or kind of like a retreat sort of thing, and just like socializing with people and like actually like meeting somebody really quality, worth spending time with. And so in some cases that might be what this is about. Maybe it's not really a honeymoon, it's just, you know, some away time that you took for yourself to like decompress, and maybe sitting on that dock there by yourself and figuring things out. But you know, maybe there were some people that were also in that same kind of setting doing similar things, and you know, you might just have potential to just really vibe with somebody cool that you want to get to know better in greater detail, and somebody that feels like something that you've called in. Because this is some really good energy here, Aquarius. So I think I'm just going to seal this one up here on the tip from Archangel Michael to admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly, because that's always a great tip. So we're going to leave it on this prayer here, and I hope you have a great month, Aquarians. Dear Archangel Michael, I appreciate your support helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and with others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. Amen. Alright, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense. And if it did, give me a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe. If you would like a prayer or a personal private reading, hit me up at artoflove.me. I would love to do that for you. And if I don't hear from you, just enjoy the beginning of your month. I think it's going to be a good one, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. I'm going to clear up here for now, and then we're going to jump into Gemini. What's going on, Gemini? Happy November to you. It's already almost the end of the year. I'm going to flip your cards. Alright, Gemini. Chakra card right in the middle. I've had a lot of chakra cards showing up this month. Right in the center of yours, we've got the heart chakra card. Really awesome. You're saying on your mind, heart-centered matters. And so I'm just hearing that for a lot of people, this is something, there's a situation going on in some relationships that's been going on for some time. And I'm hearing that there might be some challenges with the throat chakra, because like this is actually one of the decks that doesn't have reversal meanings. It's the one that I use for the personal / romance sector during Virtue's Romance Angels card, which isn't always romantic. This is the Express Your Love card. It showed up upside down. I'm not really quite sure how that happened, but you know what? This card has been making its way around because who else got that? You might be dealing with a Cancerian person, perhaps. They actually got that card, and sometimes sometimes that happens though, you know, I don't know, for some reason, I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe it just has to do with some of the people that land on this channel having both Gemini and Cancer in their charts. And of course, those are side by side, those two signs. So, you know, some of the energies can, you know, closely follow along the wheel like that. But anyway, you both got the same card, and in this situation, it actually showed up upside down. And I'm not 100% sure how that happened. You know, sometimes I do close my eyes when I'm shuffling, and I'm sure sometimes it can just be sloppy. But anytime that something like that happens, especially with a deck where I'm not shuffling them in a way where they should flip like that, I have to pay attention to it. So just the fact that these two showed up side by side here, and it's about express your love and, you know, heart chakra side by side, it's kind of just feeling like, you know, there might be some challenges there. So I'm saying, you know, focus on heart chakra, but also perhaps a little bit higher to thymus, thyroid area here. These would be really good chakras to pay close attention to this month, and perhaps go for chakra clearing. Your overall archetypal energy for the month here, at least the first couple of weeks, Gemini, is the Pioneer card. Really cool archetype to have. This might play out as somewhat of a challenge too, or be how you're tempted to act. What the card says right here is light attributes, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Shadow attributes, compulsive need to keep moving on. And you might want to really keep that in mind too, because physical material realm, what's showing up using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, we've got the Nine of Wands coming up in reverse. And this one sometimes is just like not wanting to stand up anymore. It's like, you know, when it's straight up here, you know, that person's been through a lot, you know, a situation going on a while, and kind of like maybe giving up on it. And so I'm hearing in some cases, you know, that's what the love situation is that's on the mind, and just like something happening with the expression. And I'm hearing in some cases it's giving up on a relationship, because we also have advice from Archangel Michael to detach from the situation. I'm hearing in some cases it has to do with a marriage that's been going on for about 4 years, and just having to like give up on something. And I'm not hearing that it's actually the marriage. I'm hearing it might be the ex that tried to come back after too long, and it just being like something that it's like, you know, you already hurt me in the situation, you know, I remember what this was all about, and it's a non-starter. And just like having to cut somebody out of your life is what I'm hearing. And in other cases, I'm hearing it might just have to do with, you know, just making a clean break in a situation that may or may not have to do with, you know, romantic love, but maybe something that you did used to love and are ready to move on from right now, because that does say compulsive need to keep moving on. And in some cases, you know, giving up on something that wasn't working, you know, maybe especially if it was like abusive is what I'm hearing. In some cases there was an abusive situation, and this is like giving up on that and just like pioneering and championing a new direction in life. So if that's the case, whatever it is, just really focus on your heart health. You know, maybe even just physically as an organ, you know, that might be on your mind or somebody's mind if heart is showing up here on the mind. But green is a good color meditation, and I would definitely recommend, you know, healing frequencies. Those are really good too. I'm going to open up the Archetype Cards book, and we're going to see what it says about the Pioneer here for you. All right, Gemini. We've got some keywords, 3 bullet points, and a tip to keep in mind. Pioneer, explorer, settler, pilgrim, innovator. First bullet point says, discovers and explores new territory, whether external or internal. The second one says, may initiate innovative fashions, art, music, or literature. And the last one says, shadow pioneer manifests as a compulsive need to abandon the present and move on, never settling anywhere. And the tip says, ask if your life has been characterized by a need to consistently step on fresh and undiscovered territory in at least one realm. Honestly, I'm hearing in some cases that's exactly what you need, and that this is probably the healthiest thing you could have done, is just like dropping what you were holding on to, because I'm hearing in some cases it just wasn't working. And that it's just like, that's why this heart stuff is on the mind here. It's like something that lit up your heart is definitely on your mind, all that green there, that light bulb. And that, you know, it's just like time to move in a new direction. And in some cases, you know, that's why this is blocked. It's like, it's not really blocked. It's like you chose something that you love better. And in some cases, you haven't made the decision to actually take the direction yet, you know, and you're still like waffling over whether or not you want to stick around and like give it another shot. Because, you know, hey, you might not have to wait much longer in some cases, because that's almost the end of the cycle there. 9, 10, right? So if you were looking for confirmation about going a different direction, you might have wanted to see that. So I'm being told some of you were looking for like a yes-no about a situation. And I'm not going to say yes-no, but I'm going to tell you that just by seeing what that card says right there as advice from Archangel Michael, it probably struck you in a way where you knew what side of this you want to be on. Because I'm hearing in some cases this is you folks, whether or not you've got wands in your chart. If it's wands, okay, it could be something fiery. You might have fire in your chart. Maybe you're dealing with wandsy people. It's going to be your Leo, Aries, Sag, variety individual, even if they don't have that in their chart. It could just be somebody that acts like that, right? But in other cases, it doesn't even have to be with like, it doesn't have anything to do sometimes with like their constitution. It might just have to do with how a situation is, because this is physical material realm. So, I mean, that says something on its own, doesn't it? Wands are the things that stir up the passions, the creativity, sometimes aggressive energy that's like misdirected even. And in some cases, that's how somebody got, you know, hammered like that, right? So I'm not going to interpret that too much. You're going to know how this strikes you, whether this is somebody in your world, might be you, or how something has been playing out. But it did show up like this. And so in some cases, I just see it like, you know, maybe the person didn't get physically injured. You know, it could just be somebody that's just like freaking tired of like standing there waiting and like putting in effort and just like, can I stand and hold this anymore, and just being like, fuck it, and just dropping it. And I'm hearing in some cases that it's the medically sound thing to do because of the stress that it's been putting on your heart, whether that's a physical organ stress or emotional, because all of those ways are valid. The thing is, if you're being affected, you know, and you're feeling like that, like you're getting your butt whooped, you know, sometimes you just have to know when to cut. But I'm hearing for those of you that are cutting, like even though it's like probably very emotional and maybe confusing, you know, maybe it's like something that you really do love. It's like you've just got this passion, they're saying here, for doing and creating what has not been done before. And in some cases, it's just about being brave and going for it. I'm going to open up the John Holland book. We're going to see what the book says about that heart chakra card. Because, you know, there's only 7 of those chakra cards in this deck. And the chakra cards have been all over these November readings. And you got one of them here. And if there's only 7 in a deck of almost 60 cards, they're almost like the trumps. You know what I mean? You get one, it's a lot less odds that you're going to pull one of those cards than even the 22 majors that are present in this deck. So for me, it's a strong emphatic point on this just being a really highlight area. So let's see what the book says here. Your 4th chakra is the heart chakra. Key facts: color green, sound yam, element air, gland thymus, keywords I love. Parallel to the heart, this chakra represents unconditional love, compassion, harmony, relationships, and healing. It's believed to be the link between your mind, body, and soul. Balancing this area may take a while, but you should allow all the time that you need so the healing energy can get and flow freely. By loving yourself and others as well as learning forgiveness, you'll become more attuned with spirit. And that's really interesting. You know, the words are I love, and so it's all about expressing your heart. And here it says express your love, but it's showing up upside down. So I'm hearing in some cases, for some of y'all, it's actually detaching from a situation where you were too afraid to like do anything before because you'd been hurt before, and that it's just showing up this way, just reminding you that, because these are the two that showed up upside down. Sorry. That can actually wait. These two showed up upside down. I'm being told in some cases, you know, that's just telling you that, you know, you really need to do this. Clearing your heart chakra space, because this detach is actually to detach yourself from like that wounded state where it's like you were just like too timid and nervous to maybe say I love and express that in a way that is going to heal you in these ways. So, you know, it could really play out differently depending on which, you know, Gemini you are and like what's I'm sorry, I hear somebody at my door. I'm gonna pause and I'll be right back. Sorry for all the interruptions. The politicos are knocking on doors and trying to make sure people are voting, and you know what? I already dropped off my ballot, so if you're coming to my house, I already voted, and thank you for doing that. Okay, so I want to actually open up this book, the Romance Angels book, and see what it says on the Express Your Love. Because right here on the card, it actually says go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So, like in some cases, it's like, I feel like some people are just deciding what to do in a marriage. In some cases, this is like just deciding whether we're gonna put some effort into this or drop it and go a different direction. And I'm hearing in other cases, this is just somebody that's like has not been in a relationship in a long time and probably has been afraid of, if it's romantic, you know, putting themselves out there because they've been wounded before, but it's like they're feeling the love and it's lighting up their world and it's making them feel brave. And so I'm hearing in some cases that this detach is just detaching from like the old baggage, you know, that kept you feeling like you couldn't express yourself and like you weren't worthy of like whatever that awesomeness is all about. This person that's in the dress, blue, healing, green, heart chakra. So I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's just really a need to express. So let's see what the book says here. Alright. Here's what it says, Gemini, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. This card urges you to take the initiative in your love life. That may mean contacting someone to whom you're attracted and asking that person out on a date. It could also mean sending flowers, texts, or gifts to your beloved. As you express romance, these feelings pour through you. You actually become the biggest beneficiary of your romantic displays as you enjoy how they make you feel to an even greater degree. The more you give love, the more you experience it. of course, do make sure that you're also open to receiving the love that comes to you from God, the angels, and other people. And in some cases, that's what it is too. It's like just wanting to feel that. I'm hearing for somebody that it's just like, you know, really wanting more, and, you know, maybe just not feeling like they're getting it. And so in some cases, you know, maybe that's why this detach is coming up. It's really just going to depend on which Gemini you are. But overall, I mean, the energies that are here are really good because, like, the way I'm seeing this is sort of like an end to abuse. And so I would just keep in mind, too, just how many different ways that you might even have been getting in your own way, you know, or, like, just not feeling like you had the energy to keep doing something, and it just being you blocking your own free-flowing heart energy, you know? And that's just something to pay attention to right now, because the energy that's around you, especially as you're challenged, this is like the weather report of what's around you, and that's looking pretty good. It's looking like opportunities to heal. It's looking like opportunities to grow. It's looking like opportunities to find creativity that you didn't even realize existed inside of you, and really locking into that heart space, because there is a heart in the middle of all of it there too. So, you know, if you're looking for love, y'all, I hear that it's really more about you just being willing to open your heart up to it. And they say it's already on your mind. So, I know what it is to be an air sign, you know. Sometimes you're going to intellectualize these things, and if that's the case, you know, they're just saying you need to do something that's going to help you ground that into your body, because, you know, being too much in your mind isn't going to help you bring it home. You're going to have to work on your throat chakra and the things that are going to allow you to communicate that, if that's something that's on your periphery. So I'm going to just leave this on the advice from Archangel Michael to detach from the situation, and preface that by saying that anything that's unhealthy for you at this point that's not centered in the happiness of your heart, detach from that, okay, Gemini? And here we go. Dear Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword to cut away attachment to fear or drama, so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me in this situation. Amen. All right. That's what I got for you, Gemini. I hope that the beginning of this month is awesome for you, and if you like the reading, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me know if you'd like a personal private look into your life. Or just a prayer. Feel free to hit me up at artoflove.me and drop it on the welcome mat. If I don't hear from you, I'll catch you again in a couple weeks when I'm back for the mid-monthly. So, talk to you then. Gonna clear up here, light one more little piece of sage, catch a little hit of that tea, and then we're gonna flip the cards for Libra and wrap it all up, y'all. What's going on, Libra? Happy November to you. Hopefully all y'all had great birthdays. I'm gonna go ahead and flip your cards. All right, Libra. You know what? Your card has been making some appearances. Your archetype, that is. Overall archetypal energy for the month, at least the first couple weeks of November. Visionary. That card flew out at the beginning of Air Tribes while I was shuffling. I was getting some interesting messages about this character. You might be interested in checking that out if you didn't see it. Also, not sure if you have Taurus in your chart or might be dealing with a Taurian individual. Could be Sun, Moon, Rising. They actually just received this card in the mid-monthly readings for October. So just keep that in mind if that pinged you in some way. This card says light attributes, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Shadow attributes state selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. That's like your challenge style energy. So it's in some cases how things are feeling around you, might be how people are kind of coming at you, and it might just be like how you're tempted to act. And in some cases I'm hearing that's actually you all right there, you know, looking into the future. And I'm getting just like a lot of mental energy here too. And they're just saying, you know, this is a month to focus on the solar plexus. I was getting it a lot with the other signs too, and self-respect is actually coming up as your advice card in your prayer from Archangel Michael. And so I'm not really sure what it is that you're going through, but I'm just going to flip through some of the cards really quick. Make the effort showed up, and then we got mental energy, basically 9 of Swords, 9 suffering and silence on the mind, and 4 of Swords in reverse in the physical material realm. So it's like a lot of mental energy, and they're saying that some of y'all are like really trapped in your mind and feeling dissociated from like your own self-respect. And I'm just pointing out the fact that in some cases that's like yellow around that ball, and it's like outside of this person, and like the yellow belongs inside. It's like that might be like the aura here, and it's like just feeling displaced. I'm hearing in some cases some people had something taken from them. I was getting really strong messages at the beginning about somebody's intellectual property having been stolen, and then this card like flew out. And so I don't know, you know, maybe some of y'all are dealing with a situation where somebody took something that was not theirs from you, and now you're having nightmares, or they're having nightmares, because I'm seeing this is the nightmare card in this deck. It's like the person sitting up in bed with all the 9 swords, and then here's the person in the freaking sarcophagus, or like, you know, laying down trying to rest, but like up. And it's like a lot of swords, okay, which is all mental energy. Of course, your swords too, so it could just be Libra, just like being very, very Libran here. But I'm hearing some of this has to do with what happened in August? Or no, September. 9 September. Either that or you're dealing with a Virgo in some cases. But I'm hearing something about what happened during the Virgo season. And in some cases they're saying, like, you're going to know if it's something that, you know, has been eating away at your self-respect. And if that's the case, this is really and truthfully a month to kind of just shield yourself. And like this monk is even wearing kind of like a yellowish, orangish, like a robe, like a gold robe. That's the color of the solar plexus here. So I'm just getting a lot on the solar plexus this month. You know, please, whatever's going on with you, work on your solar plexus, because I feel like some people are challenged a lot there, and that this could be very helpful and supportive and loving for you. We're going to go ahead and open up the Carolyn Mace book for the archetype cards and see what it says here on Visionary for you, Libra. Alright, so they've given us some keywords to keep in mind, 3 bullet points and a tip. Visionary, dreamer, prophet, seer. First bullet point says, lets you imagine possibilities that are beyond the scope of your individual life and that benefit all of society. Second one says, brings into view what could be if certain choices are made, or what is inevitable given choices that have already been made. The last one says, shadow visionary manifests as a willingness to sell your prophetic abilities to the highest bidder or to alter your vision to make it more acceptable. In extreme cases, tainted visions may lead societies into murderous or destructive rampages. The tip says look for long-term passion to see beyond obvious or momentary actions to perceive a larger pattern. I'm hearing somebody might have sold out something that now they're like really like wishing they hadn't sold. And it might have had something to do with their own intellectual property. I'm hearing somebody made a bad deal. It was a bad deal. And that might be why they're not feeling rested. Because like when this shows up, physical material realm, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, okay, Four of Swords, that's taking a chill. That's somebody just kind of laying the swords down and just like resting there. They might still have things on their mind, but you know, they're in a meditative, contemplative, not moving state. And when it's this way, it's kind of like I'm hearing unrest. And just the fact that this card, when it's in that other deck, it's the other really bad unrest card a lot of times. It's like somebody that's not sleeping for one reason or another. In some cases I'm hearing it's just that you guys are freaking psychic and you're downloading information all night. And, you know, I'm hearing some people are just like working too much. And so that might be it, you know, maybe you're on a mission. But in other cases, it's like somebody that's just got some shit on their mind that's not making them happy. That's his suffering in silence. So, you know, whatever it is, if it's something to do with how you're feeling about yourself and your self-worth and your self-respect, okay, or feeling displaced from that light that belongs in your chest, because that's you, that's your healthy chi, that's how you experience your own inner light. It should be inside of you. You know, I don't like seeing that next to a 9 suffering and silence card, because it makes me feel like something is not really like in the right place, and I just keep hearing self-respect. So look, romance angels are even saying make the effort. I'm hearing in some cases it's just like put yourself first, put yourself in bed and get some sleep. Because I'm hearing in some cases you've just been up all night, you know, and you're going to know if it's you or not. And I'm not trying to dumb it down and tell you what to do, but in some cases you really do need to get some rest. And I will say too, who was it for? I think it was while I was getting ready to do the fire tribes, the actual 9 of Swords. So this card and this deck had flown out. And so I was hearing that some people are just not getting sleep. And I'm hearing a lot of it for some people just has to do with feeling like a lot of pressure to perform. It's the end of the year, you know, holy crap, it's November, right? And that some of y'all have just been like working really freaking hard, and that, you know, even if you're not suffering, it's just like being up all night and not like resting, okay? So in other cases you might be dealing with some sword situations with, you know, just like cutting people is what I'm hearing. And in some cases they're saying literally you need to cut some people out of your life. I'm hearing make the effort is literally like detaching in some cases. So but I'm not feeling great about a situation where somebody had something taken away from them. And I'm hearing in some cases that that's why this is like, if that's your inner light and you're feeling like kind of like dismantled, like that's supposed to be in here and it's like out there. I'm hearing in some cases that this suffering is because of something that had already happened and somebody that took something from you that you found out about, and it was somebody that you trusted. You know, that says visionary there, and it says like, you know, something about you know, without regard for personal gain. And I'm hearing in some cases that this person was like somebody that you sought counsel with, and that this person might have abused you and taken something that was yours, and that self-respect is coming up right now. And this make the effort, because it's like you feel like something valuable was taken from you, and you're just in white here if that's you, because you're actually innocent, and that somebody actually took something from you, and they're saying that this make the effort. You see these little kids kissing each other. That's actually you giving yourself some love in some cases. Because sometimes these are just like abstract. You know, it's not like all about romance and here, make the effort, and like two little kids kissing under a tree. It's, you know, it can be other stuff. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And that always self-applies as well. Great love begins within. Let's see what the John Holland book says on the Psychic Tarot card of 9, Suffering in Silence. Because this is what is in your mental arena. This is the stuff that's on your mind. And mental energy on your mental mind, and especially of this variety. I mean, come on, that's like really maxed out. The one good thing that I will say about this, that I do like about it right now, is that in some cases, what they're saying is that this is actually you turning your back on that, because in this deck, this is the end of the line in these cards. So what I mean is, like, if you were in this deck, right, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, there would be one more sort of torture. There's one more place to go in these sleepless nights if we're talking about this deck. But we're not. We're talking about this deck. And in this deck, these go 1 to 9. So 9 is saying that you are already at that point where it's like, you know, she's on the other side of it. And so I'm saying her, you know, I'm looking at a woman here. You can call it whoever you want. I'm not telling you what your gender is or who that is that you see. You can do that. I'm just seeing woman. She's looking over in the direction of where the sunlight's coming. And so I'm hearing in some cases that is the effort being made finally after what's been a bullshit long period of sleepless nights, and some cases like cutting people, like trying to come after your light, and your, in some cases, this stuff that you worked on, your visions, your dreams, your book, your memoir. I'm hearing somebody might have stolen somebody's intellectual property. I'm hearing somebody might have made a profit on it and left you feeling like, you know, what? You know, like you haven't been able to do anything. Suffering in silence. And I'm hearing in some cases you need to get an attorney, because they're saying that, you know, now's a good time to make the effort, and that's going to be the loving thing to do, to reclaim your self-respect and your name, and to reclaim your vision, because it is yours. You're going to know if it's yours. I'm not trying to like predict any, like, you know, negativity or doom and gloom, but that's for somebody. And it was very, very loud and clear before, and somebody's guide like literally blurted, sue them, like, to me. I heard it. So you'll know if it's for you. I'm just going to read to you what the mental card says here about suffering in silence. 9, aka 9 of Swords. The number 9 denotes completion. Are you finally ready to let go of those limiting negative beliefs, or are you allowing the issues in your life to become bigger than they really are? Your mind has been doing quite a job on you lately, and even your dreams may be trying to get your attention. When you learn to let go of the worry, despair, and sense of hopelessness, a positive new way or path will be shown to you. This card follows Trapped in Fear, the number 8 mental card. When your fears aren't confronted, your mental anguish will continue. This is a reminder to take action and trust that your soul and the power of spirit will grasp you firmly by the hand and guide you. But you must take the first step toward healing and let go of the mental distress. Don't suffer in silence. Reach out for the help that's available. Honestly, I think you're going to, because it's like self-respect showed up. It's like the same color as like what she's looking at there, right? It's like what this person's covering themselves in. It says make the effort. So I think you might be doing it, and it's showing visionary. It's that same colors, all the solar plexus stuff. And so I just feel like in some cases, you all know exactly what you need to do. And in some cases, it's just getting some sleep and giving yourself some time to let these things congeal, because in some cases, I am actually hearing that this is more about the upper register energy that's keeping you up all night because you're just psychic as hell. And that it might not have anything to do with suffering in silence at all. It might just be up all night staring at that light and being kind of mesmerized with it. And I'm being told that it would be really good if you start to realize how to integrate that into you, because that's actually going to give you some more self-respect for your visions, and realizing that that thing that you're seeing and that you're like putting so much love into or thought and consideration onto is actually your own light. And so make the effort to see that and own that for, you know, what it is, which I'm being told is actually the light of your divinity. And if somebody tried to take it from you or breach it, I'm hearing go for it. I'm hearing make the effort. It's about your self-respect, not to be suffering in silence, and that I feel like, you know, the truth is actually going to be there for you. And I was hearing something about if somebody thought that they were going to pull one off on you, because like I kept seeing that Seven of Swords, and I was getting it for, you might have a Virgo or have like a dealing with a Virgo, but Virgo was getting that same energy really strong, and I was seeing it before too. And they were saying something about sneaky tippy toes, whatever that meant. And anyway, I'm just hearing that you might have some help, and that if it's yours and if it needs to be protected, and if somebody has, you know, been taking something that's not yours, it's like you've actually, they were showing me some backup before. And actually, I'm just going to tell you what it said for Virgo too. They said it's time to leave this unhealthy situation. And so I'm just feeling like that is another self-respect sort of message. So, you know, there might be some commonality there. And I was seeing the 9 here again too. So you might be dealing with a Virgo very well, or have that in your chart. One way or the other, I'm hearing that you're worth the effort, Libra. And this card says it right here. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, even if it's not about romance. But let's see what the book says about it. I'm just going to bust it open and see here, because it's going to be different for everybody. Y'all are all different. Okay, make the effort. You receive this card because some action steps on your part are necessary in order for your prayers about your love life to be answered. The angels have opened the doors for you, and now it's time for you to walk through them. The first thing that comes to mind with respect to taking action is a good starting place for you. When you ask for spiritual help, you always receive it. Often this help comes in the form of intuitive guidance, visionary, which consists of repetitive feelings and thoughts. You get the sense that you should do this or that. You receive this card as a nudge to actually take that action. You'll then receive the next piece of the puzzle, meaning another intuitive message about what to do. If you like, you can ask the angels to give you the motivation, courage, time, and energy to take these steps. Know that each one brings you closer upon the pathway to great love. I think it makes a lot of sense here. So you're worth the effort, Libra. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this on the tip from Archangel Michael about self-respect and respecting yourself, because you are worth it, Libra. So I'm going to pray for you on that. Here we go. Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see myself as you see me through the eyes of love. Thank you for honoring and respecting me. Please guide me to do the same for myself, and grant me the courage to speak up on my own behalf. I ask for your protection in all of my relationships so that I am surrounded by loving and kind people. Amen. All right. That's what I got for you, Libra. I hope it made sense. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up. Share, subscribe, drop me a comment if you like. If you would like a personal private reading or a prayer, feel free to hit me up at artoflove.me. I would love to do that for you. If I don't hear from you, I'll catch you again in a couple of weeks when I'm back for the mid-monthly reading. So take care. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.